So earlier today, I had an experience that was a bit jolting, and when I tried to record it, I was still digesting it, so my explanation wasn't very good. There was a lot of pauses as I was still running the memory through, and there's a better explanation. So I woke up today at around, let's say like 8 or 9 a.m., had good dreams, felt good, felt mentally free of any stressors, so I decided I'm gonna astral project, as it's been a while. And I do my technique, I get relaxed, I get my awareness in my astral body, and I start to slowly let my consciousness drift into there. But at a certain point, I kind of black out, and I come to in this, now I'm going to be broad because this is more personal, so you can piece together this stuff to try and figure out what it was. But I was in this situation with another person, and this is a situation that I've been in many times before. It's been a cycle, and every time I revisit this situation, I've had troubles with emotional stability and temptation to not slip into it. And I've done better than others, but every time it happens, I grow a little bit more. That makes me, more in tune with me. And, I don't change for this person. So I'm in this situation, and it almost happens. And then I'm like, no, I can't. But I didn't act in a way that would have cut it off from happening again. So I knew that it was going to happen again, and I knew I'd set myself up. And so as I start to go, I start to talk with other people to help me feel better. I start making stress purchases with my money, but it all doesn't really make sense because these people haven't been in my life in a long time. Where I was my old college. I was in the dorms there, but at the same time there was a convenience store of where I currently where my apartment is down south, and it just wasn't adding up. But I was too unconscious in the situation. I genuinely thought what I was experiencing was real life because I'd been in this situation so many times. And so time comes to meet up with this person, and as we're heading along our way, and I know a situation's gonna happen once we make our destination, the sidewalk starts to become steeper and steeper and steeper and steeper, and towards the end I'm like literally like climbing, but I never look up. I'm just looking straight forward. I'm like, how is this happening? How is any of this real right now? And I become extremely nauseous, extremely sick. I feel like I'm about to throw up, and they're just going like nothing's happening. And then suddenly there's just like a hand, almost like a hand like reaching out for help. So I grab it, and they're looking at me like, are you okay? And it's like they never experienced what just happened. And I was, at this point, like I was shaky. I was like, what is going on? And my consciousness just kind of gets pulled out from my body, and I get pulled out of this whole simulation. And I just see this box. It's this red box in this vast dark room. I could tell that it wasn't just a vast infinite black space. There was boundary. It was just massive. And this red box, it looked like it was made out of wood from a distance, just because there was separation in these red panels, but it wasn't made out of wood. I could tell you that for sure. And the top of the box was black, and then there were these panels on the sides. I want to say that there was, on the side I was looking at, there was two, but I only saw it from my view. Would have been its left side if it was a box like that. I was viewing it this side, but 3D, and it was completely white, almost like if it was a flashlight, but I couldn't see anything. It was just very, very bright, a ton of white light coming through, and consciousness kept getting pulled, and then I view this area, and I'm like, whoa, what is that? And so then I immediately just get panned to the right, like my awareness gets panned to the right, and everything becomes really bright white again. And then I start feeling this movement of my body again, and it moves towards the right, and it felt like I was gonna go into the situation that I didn't want to happen. So my initial response was to move to the left and just come back, like make my physical eyes open. And I moved to the left here on my bed, and my physical eyes opened, and it was black. It was that same black space, but very, very quickly, these like rectangles that made up this room. It was like portions of it. It'd be like if only, let's say like half. Okay, let me see if I can do this. It'd be like only if this portion of my room came, and then this portion of the room came. It was like stacks on top, and they came almost in like a cheap 2009 PowerPoint transition. It was like a cascade of these rectangles, and even my, here, I'm going to show you, even my camera stand came in, because I was laying, then my head was there and I saw this thing, and it was like, it just built itself. And I saw my physical legs, because I was kind of sleeping with my knees up, so I saw my legs up, and my astral arm was up. My astral arm almost looked like it was made out of static. This held together by this gray fog, and there was these black dots, and it was very definitive compared to how it was before. Every time my astral bodies looked like that, it looked like it was barely held together, but this time I could easily see my fingers. The separation was there. I could almost see like you know, the little joints, I don't know, bones. And then it just went away. But on my right side of my ear, when everything came back down, I heard this doo-doo-doo, like a machine was turning on. And I was like, what? No. No, what just happened? Now, I've heard stories before of people who astral project, and they see these like simulation boxes where souls or awarenesses or people's consciousness are, and they relive these experiences which they should have handled differently, either emotionally or the choices they should have made. They should have been more conscious in them, and it's kind of like it helps you level up. It helps you grow past that certain mindset, past that certain stage of your, you know, your little journey. And I definitely needed to grow past the stage that I was in the experience that I was experiencing, because even one of the things that this person said was just like, oh my God, like, yeah, I can't fall for that. I cannot be falling for that. I need to be more solid in myself. I can't fall to temptation like this. And it was very odd. It was very interesting, because one of the things I talked about in my last astral projection video was if you could astral project and consciously break your cycles, break these cycles that we all live in, because everyone keeps going through certain series of events, whether it has to deal with their eating habits causing them pain, whether it has to deal with letting people affect them emotionally, they let these people affect them emotionally, or certain decisions they're making that are keeping them from getting closer to their fullest potential. These situations keep presenting themselves until the change is made, and then they go on to another cycle that goes, and then the change is made, and they keep going close, getting closer and closer to just unity, just being themselves. And if you can practice that here and then do it in while you astral project, which would be super efficient, you know, you grow so fast. You grow so fast. But I don't know, to wherever this area was, it was like a facility. I was being controlled. I wasn't controlling myself at all. It was like the pull, getting pulled out was completely not my choice. Getting put back here was just kind of me trying to abandon ship. I was going somewhere, I don't know where, but at that point I just didn't want anything to do with it. And it's kind of odd, because lately I've been not figuring out, I guess you could say figuring out, my awareness has been expanding, and I'm starting to notice the correlation between how I feel and what's going on around me to a much bigger degree. And I'm starting to become much more aware of people interacting with me and my mind, and it's like this whole area has kind of become just a giant expansion of my head, and I'm in here interacting with myself. And through the breath work I've had, I've become very still inside, and it allows me to view things very differently. It's like I'm halfway through the book. I know something's going on, I know it's pretty cool, but I'm not there. Either or. cool experience. I would like to start astral projecting again. It's been a while. So yeah, with that, I'm gonna go. Peace. Hope you guys enjoyed.